Hey guys, how's it going? Captain Foley here, and I gotta reset this up for some reason. That went all wonky and weird. How's it going, guys? A little bit early, but that's okay. We're gonna start a little bit early today, and we're gonna start talking about the latest episode of Lower Decks, episode 9, Crisis. The hell was it called now? Crisis Point. There you go. So yeah, let's get into it. I guess this is the Lower Decks, the movie, as we're going to be calling it, because really it is a movie version of Lower Decks. Probably the only movie version of Lower Decks we'll get. But you never know. I did like the little movie homages, even to the JJ verse, and definitely to Star Trek 6 at the end. I thought that was great. So anyway, we'll wait for people to filter in. If you guys haven't hit like yet, hit like. We've got 30 likes with 26 people here, which is great. But if we can do better, if you haven't hit like yet, please hit that like button and let's try to get those numbers up. Always trying to get the numbers up. You know how it is. So let's see here. I gotta pull up the chat on my trusty iPad so that I can see what you guys are saying to me. And it's good to see you all here right now. And I guess milestone, I guess we could say we've got over 55,000 subscribers now on the YouTubes. So yay. We were up to 57,000 at one point, but then YouTube did it longer up that high. Okay, this I need to adjust. So hold on, guys. Sorry, I should have adjusted a little bit better prior to coming into this, but there we go. That should be good, I think. And while we're waiting for people to filter in, because I am still 3 minutes early. Hold on a second. I'm just gonna get the LCARs going up here. Because you can't actually see the screen in the video here. So we'll get the LCARs going so that you guys have the bottom of something to look at anyway. I figured this was pretty good, but yeah. Let's see the live chat here. And I know that we had a super chat early on, which I'm going to read right now. Let me get this set up for you guys. I got you guys. It's all good. Come on. Usually all this is done beforehand, so you guys don't get to see the magic that is behind the scenes. Speaking of behind the scenes, if you guys have any questions for me, because I'm going to be getting back into Captain's Logs, and as such, the first one's going to be a Q&A. There we go. I went way past it. First one's going to be a Q&A. So there is a post on the Trekyards page for you guys adding your questions that you'd like to ask me. It can be anything, not necessarily Star Trek related. It doesn't have to be a thing, so you guys can ask me anything. You have until tomorrow, until end of the day, midnight Eastern Standard Time, to put those questions in, and then I'll get around to filming that next week and have that video out for you guys on Friday. So far there have been a lot of good posts and questions asked, and Jeff's just dropping in to give his like, and then he is going to come back and watch this after he's watched the episode. So good to see you, Jeff. So yes, we had Olivia Julia, $5. I think it would have been better if Mariner had wrote Star Trek Mariner on the title screen. Then Tendy could say, what is a Star Trek? And I 1000% agree with you. I kind of thought that when they did it, because they have said Star Trek once in canon, which is, of course, Star Trek First Contact. So, all right, so let's just jump right into it here. There we go. And I'm going to probably miss some of your super chats, or not your super chats. I will not miss your super chats. If you want to super chat and get guaranteed to have your question read, your comment addressed, you can do so. Just send us a super chat or a PayPal. Let us know, and I will take care of that. But I will try to get to all of the comments. I will probably skip a few because I do need to catch up at this point. But Olivia Julius, $5. How fast is milk? It's pasteurized before you know it. See, she's got the dad jokes tonight. This episode was, I think, probably the best one so far. I keep saying that week on week. I'm sure it's going to annoy Samuel that I've said it yet again. But this one, because of the movie feel of it, like, it was really great. Had some good movie tropes to it. And really was a fun little episode. I really, really, really enjoyed this one. It was funny. And there's some great references, too. They even referenced Zahn. If you're like the Zahn character, you probably won't even make the final cut. And people might not know what that is. Zahn is the Vulcan that was supposed to replace Spock when they were going to do Star Trek Phase 2, because Spock wasn't coming back. So they had the actor hired, they did makeup tests, and then they decided they're doing a movie. So, of course, Leonard Nimoy decided to come back for that. So the character, or the actor that they had for Zahn, actually was in the motion picture. He was on the space station, or the observatory, whatever it was, that got hit by V'ger at the very beginning. So he died right away. So the fact that they referenced Zahn, and Boimler's like, who's that? And I was like, ha, you see what I mean? Was great. And then she actually kills the guy that replaced him, Shempy, or whatever his name was great. So that was a nice little meta joke for sure. James Hoffman throws in $5. Got to say, Tendy looks sexy in her pirate outfit. I also have to say that as well. Yeah, I totally agree with you, my friend. And Broken Speaker, $5. Partway through now, the music is the Wrath of Khan overture, just rearranged, some key changes. Yeah, it's definitely had the soundtrack definitely had a movie feel to it, with elements from a few of the movies actually, and also the Lower Decks music mixed in together. It was actually fantastically done. And talk about ship porn, damn, it was definitely movie appropriate ship porn for the Cerritos. Lens flares and all. The lens flares actually look kind of great. And the only thing that it bugged me a little bit was when they went to warp, when she said the warp me, and you had the lightning across. I know it's for dramatic effect. And then it warps off, and then you get the sprinkling of fairy dust that you got with JJ. Because I really didn't like the fairy dust thing at the end when they warped out. It was a neat enough idea. I just didn't think it worked for Star Trek, especially for the Enterprise. So, Olivia Julius, $5. I want someone to look at me like the crew looks at the ship. By the way, I want to hear a joke about pizza? Never mind, it's too cheesy. Ha! And Godspeed, you crazy fucks. What's in 99 cents? Thank you, Jill. I knew you were going to use that because it was like the one line she had in this one. And I was thinking, Jill's going to use that. Yep, Jill's probably going to save it for tomorrow, but Jill's going to use that. And sure enough, you proved me right. So thank you, Jill. I really appreciate that. All right, so let's go back and read some of your comments here. I'm not going to get all of them, like I said, so if I miss yours, please re-add it. And if you want me to read it and make sure that I see it and read it, by all means send a super chat. But I will try to read most of them. So 98 people here, which is great. 59 likes, which is also great. But I think we can get 75 likes easily with 99 people here. Come on, hit like if you didn't hit like already. Fun will now commence. A lot of people like Voyager. Okay. Alyssa Jericho, did we all enjoy the pandemic special? I laughed a lot. The pandemic special. Jason O, didn't watch it. Did people enjoy it? I haven't watched South Park in years. Oh, we're talking about South Park. What the hell? What a weird place for me to start. Tommy Schnettler, I'm thinking on installing my own LCARS display in my motorhome. LCARS are always great to have in the background, and I am a huge fan and a huge proponent of LCARS. You must have LCARS playing if you want to be cool and win over Captain Foley. Jason, I enjoyed the new Lower Decks. I figured it was going to be another Rogue Holodeck episode, but nope. Yeah, it was great. The fact that it was done like a movie. And like I said to Samuel during our live where we were doing a prediction video, I just finished playing Iron Man VR, and it's the same thing when you start a mission and it's a new chapter. You're flying through the air and you see the words, the chapter number comes up in the words, and you like fly towards them, and then you either go through them or it goes above you or it fades out before. It was great, and to see that translated over into a holodeck program was also very cool. Like, that is exactly what I would be doing with a holodeck, among other things. But that was fantastically done. I loved it. I thought that was a great thing. And even when Tendi left the holodeck, walked out, and immediately the blood was gone from her, I thought that was fantastic as well. Like, they hit this one out of the park as far as being a true Star Trek episode with the movie tie-ins, the ridiculousness of the movie stuff, even the cliche of a lot of the technobabble in the movies isn't quite as good as technobabble in the show, which I thought was neat. There's the Indicta whatever and the Sativa whatever for the engineering stuff. Like, yeah, who threw that in, right? Like, I thought it was really good. Alistair Chud, every holodeck's a rogue holodeck when Mariner shows up. Darth Maul, just rewatched this episode again. It got better, and it was already awesome. Loved it. Yeah, it was definitely better on a few watch throughs. Usually before I do these first reactions, I've already watched it like 4 or 5 times. So I have watched it 4 times, and it's great. The List of Jericho, I did laugh at the beauty shot scene. Yeah, there was definitely some glamour shots of the ship, and I actually tweeted out to Z Films, who does a lot of his hashtag is ship porn, because he works in the Star Trek Online engine and gets shots of the Star Trek Online ships, and it was definitely done for people like us that love ships. So I thought that was really fun. Richie Appel, lens flares and ship loving, best episode yet. The holodeck was in widescreen. Yeah, it was. I did have a bit of an issue, and spoilers if you haven't seen it yet, but one of the issues that I have is the fact that we only have 76 likes with 115 people here. Come on, guys, that ratio should be at least 100 likes with 115 people here. No, my issue was that Mariner, not that she was in the program, because Boimler had added her, and she even said, "You added me, Boimler. Those personal logs are some private stuff in there." And he said before that he reads everybody's personal logs or everybody's logs. So my big issue was the fact that the mother and Mariner in the program knew that they were related, because Boimler initially created that program, and Mariner didn't know her character was in the program when she upgraded it to the movie, so she would not have included the fact that her mother and her, that the captain was her mother. So the fact that her character in the holodeck knew that that was her mom, and the mom knew that Mariner was her daughter in the program, without Boimler knowing that, made no sense, unless he just randomly uploaded all their logs and let the computer fill it in. But in one of the last episodes, he actually made a point of saying he reads all the logs, probably all the official logs, probably not the personal logs. So if he had access to the personal logs, which I can't even buy that he did, and he just uploaded them because he couldn't read them, again, I don't buy that. I don't buy that that would translate into a holodeck simulation creation. So, and he's not the kind of person that would like illegally torrent somebody's personal logs. He's very much a rule follower. He's by the book. So I thought that was a little weird. But yes, it was in widescreen. Area 51, hey Cap, I'm here. Hello, Area 51, good to see you. Brian Harvard, the Horner-like music during the Doritos reveal was so awesome. Absolutely, it was fantastic. Gene Awaski Jr., Patrick Stewart also said it once in All Good Things. What, warp me? No, he didn't. I don't know what you're referring to specifically, but no, not Shempo. The list of Jericho, Orions have been pirate. She said most Orions haven't even been pirates for over 5 years now. Jason, I love the music, Ship Gag, because the music was actually really good. I wish that was our title theme, LOL. Wow. The whole movie trope stuff was very aware, LOL. Absolutely it was. BJ Turon, I love the spoofing of the original cast films, credits, and ship flybys. Actually, some of my favorite Trek scenes and lens flares from stupid JJ films. Leaner337, ahoy Cap. It is warp me time. Or is it warp me time? The Censors Admiral is back. Oh yeah, that was the same guy. Yeah, it was. Gene Awaski Jr., I love the visiting captain's log entry with the music in the episode where the other California-class ship becomes an outfit for the alien who floats away. Gene Awaski Jr., hey, I think it was was heading up the S1E9 space station. He had his hair parted in the middle and was asking who the Klingons were fighting. What? I'm confused, but that's okay. I live in a perpetual state of confusion. James McGill, $2. This episode exceeded all expectations. Love it. I don't know how they're going to top it. Next week's episode had better be something great. And from the preview, it just looks like, it looks like, okay, it's a fine episode. It doesn't look like it. They should have saved all of this one for the end, for the last episode, unless the next episode is a cliffhanger. But Dave Stelzer, $2. Poor Shempo. Richie Appel, this episode blew my mind because I realized the other three don't know the captain is Mariner's mom. I guess it's assumed was known. Well, Samuel and I talked about that in our prediction video. We said, we think they're going to find out, and we were like, well, do they know? We kind of assumed they did know. Apparently not, though. But the fact that the program knew was a little bit bothersome for me because I don't think that would have been the case necessarily. Christopher Bloom, the arc between the nacelles is an unused concept from the motion picture. Yes and no. Not really the sparking arc, but there was originally supposed to be like a wave between the inner chiller grills that was like doing this all the time in between them, and that's why you needed the pairs rule to facilitate that. But that I'm glad that it was phased out. It's kind of stupid, but the whole was very JJ-esque, like charging things up kind of thing, and then the little sprinkling of fairy dust after it went to warp. I thought was kind of funny. So, but yes, I can see what you mean by the concept there for that. 131 people watching, which is fantastic, guys. 84 likes, which is also fantastic, but we can easily get to 100 likes with 133 of you here, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't already. If you want a super chat, I'd really appreciate it. I'll make sure I read your comment or question on air and address it and talk about it. I'll try to get to most of the other comments, but I might have to skip a few to catch up with the chat. 10 more likes to 100, guys. If you're one of those 10 people that haven't hit like yet, please hit that like button. Scott Withrow, $5, loved it. Maybe my favorite yet, laughed all the way through it. Yeah, and even the beginning with the rat creatures that are in the one of the first episodes of TNG that are eating the lizard people and hunting them through the corridors of the Enterprise. Again, great references. Gene Iwaski Jr., it was Star Trek the Motion Picture, The Wrath of Khan, The Search for Spock, all of it rolled into one. Yes. I love the signatures at the end. So did I, especially Boimler's with the little delta over his eye. Just like a lot of girls do the little heart over the eye. And the delta is really just an upside down heart. So that was actually pretty great. Sirstis, Sativa, yeah. Ryan K., for a chunk of this episode, it definitely looked like Mariner was trying for a psycho pension. Well, I mean, I love that she refers to it as therapy because that would be fantastic therapy. To you know how they say, write a note to the person you're mad at and then tear it up. Shit like that. This is the same kind of thing, only better. You can like, not that it's good to physically hurt somebody or kill them, but I can see it being good therapy. And the fact that she learned something about herself as a result of it was kind of great. The dogs are freaking out downstairs. Oh, because there's somebody out front. No, just the neighbors out front. So, Tie Up K. This episode paid great homage to the films and made a great parody of the JJ warp lens flares. Olivia Julius, $5. I guess no one survived from Citation Ops. Apparently, Citation Op is going to be in season 2. So, Rognick, Boimler dotted his eye with a Starfleet Delta, and that was fantastic. Yes. Darth Maul, the ship porn with the engineer crying was hilarious, and even Rutherford wanting to tell him that he's the best engineer in the fleet and all that was kind of great. Now, I think, is there a weird kind of relationship thing there that he wants to get with the guy? I'm not 100% sure of that. I can definitely see why people would think that, and if it's a thing, that's cool, but I think it's just their love for engineering. I don't know. Gene Iwaski Jr., the phaser effect was from the TNG episode where Riker had to kill a woman who he was involved with because she was trying to kill the M. The M. The what? Richie Appel. When Mike McMahon said the Cerritos would have its own version of a saucer separation, did he mean this episode, or is there something else we're going to get in the final episode? I think it's going to be something else from the final episode, based on his description that he gave us. So, yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. I thought we were going to see it in this episode when the self-destruct was initiated. The list of Jericho, how did he get the private logs? I don't know if he did necessarily. See, that's the controversy that that's going to be worth a discussion that Samuel and myself are going to have tomorrow. So tune in for that. We are over 100 likes now, which is great. We still have 130 people watching those, so we can get to 130 likes easily. If you haven't hit like, just hit like. It's really simple. It'll really help us out. So please do. Gene Iwaski Jr., what is the rolling saucer section a nod to when Mars attacks? I'm honestly not sure. Irk the Bat. He just had the computer use all the knowledge the computer had. Well, I guess. Olivia Julius, $5. So Rutherford does not like Tendi romantically, but likes the Jeff Foxworthy look-alike engineer. Am I right on that? Could be. I think it's just their love for engineering that's getting confused with a relationship kind of vibe. But yeah, I can definitely see it going either way. Ryan K. Mariner did reprogram it, so maybe she put it in. I disagree with that because she didn't even know that she had her character in the simulation, because she was surprised that Mariner was there. When Mariner showed up, she was like, "Oh, Boimler, you added me to this. You know, I have personal stuff in those logs." Which could have been the answer in that line of dialogue, saying that because he used her logs and maybe he didn't read them all because he just uploaded them all, would have that in there. So But she didn't know that her character was in it, so there's no reason that she would have programmed that in necessarily. Unless she programmed it in for the mother to know, which is fine. But that, even if, then the mother would have known, but the Mariner character, if it was programmed by Boimler, wouldn't know. So, anyway, it's worth a discussion. So, Searstis. We do know that there is no piracy in the Federation, and Starfleet learned that in Picard. Yeah, but Picard's irrelevant at this point. Hezraz, I think the private logs added things into the movie. It could be that he just asked the computer to base it off private logs. Could be. I'm not sure the computer would necessarily do that, but it's definitely an option. Irk the Bat, also Mariner made it as a revenge fantasy against her mother. Yes. Major Payne, every Federation starship remembers every word every crewman says every minute of every day and stores that information somewhere. All the holodecks have access to that info. Wow, sarcasm just dripping off of that. Gene Awaski Jr., Rodex has made me realize that you could take any of Star Trek the animated and it would be just as exciting and great as it is in live action. Plutopia, great episode, lots of Star Trek, TMP 2, 3, and 4 vibes. The list of Jericho saying Star Trek and all good things. Oh, yes, okay. Brian Harvard, prediction. We see the Enterprise next week. After them mentioning it every episode, it should be the payoff. It should be, but will it be? Probably not. I wouldn't count on it. Richie Appel, Boimler's holodeck programming with this episode was similar to the simulator episode of the Orville called Lasting Impressions. The List of Jericho, the ending reminded me of Buffy with the Dracula episode. I haven't seen that, so I don't know. Major Payne, yes, the Orville episode rocked. Ozzy Madero's $5, Warp Me time. Tendi was sexy. Okie dokie, skeleton hands. Yeah, Tendi looked fantastic. Canadian starships. Missed the first part. Don't know what I've missed, but the movie's references were hilarious. The overdrawn out ship approach and how they made fun of the lens flares. Just a fun episode. Yeah, absolutely. Bondex 75. That was Zahn from Phase 2, who was in the TMP recast. Yeah, that's what I explained earlier, yes. Peter Lakako. Space dock scenes were so very Star Trek 3. I enjoyed that. I wish I could have high-fived someone. Tommy Schnatler says, I will say this. The Cerrito crash is better than the Enterprise D. E. Paris. You can do all sorts of crazy beaming stuff in movies, LOL. Yeah, that was great. How they break their own rules for movies or for stuff in the television show. Stuff you see in the movies we wouldn't necessarily see in the television shows. So yeah. Mr. Captain 93. How will the fandom menace crap on this episode? I loved it. Oh, they'll find a way. They're content to hate it. So, and who gives a shit, really? Bondex 75. The fact they reference Phase 2 is so crazy. Rel, the program knew because Boimler took the info from private logs. Mariner said she had private stuff in there. Yes. Fine, I'll buy that, but it's still kind of a plot issue for me because I don't think that the computer would just say, oh yeah, I'll take all the personal logs and just load all that stuff into the characters. So basically, you can find out anything about any crew member just by telling the computer to upload their personal logs that you can't read because they're probably private. But you can upload it to a character, go on the holodeck, and then find ways to get that information out of the character. That seems like a super, super not very good security protocol. So I almost don't buy it. Sorry, it's just a problem for me. It's going to be a whole conversation tomorrow when we talk about it, unfortunately. And I think Samuel's going to be really stuck with that issue. And yeah, I think he's going to have a few speeches to make tomorrow about things that bothered him. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but Hezraz, what I am meaning is it is believable the computer would allow for the private logs to be used to just add character to the characters for a work holodeck simulation. Okay. But he was using it to get information out of the captain as far as what would be successful for an interview. So it still seems like a huge security issue to me. Cerstus, the thing is, why would an ensign have access to those higher ranks that let alone the skipper of the ship? Jason, pretty sure the computer did it. All right. Don't know how he got the logs, but the computer filled in that they were related in the log info. Glad it's finally getting addressed. Wasn't sure if the crew knew. Olivia Julius, $2, 100 likes. Make Olivia pay. We are at 111 likes now with 154 people watching, which is great. We can easily get 130 likes, guys. 154 of you here. If you haven't hit the like button. Elner337, was I the only one who thought Rutherford was so wholesome? He had the opportunity to say anything to his boss, and all he did was compliment him. Area 51, hey, if you're typing here, just head on over to that like button while you're at it. Hey, that's a great idea. Nick's Productions, the JJ films can now be explained as a holodeck program to glamorize Kirk's era with different interpretations, which can be retroactively explained, the Kelvin windows, and different tech. I love that. That is great. It's just a stylized version of Kirk's adventures, not so boring and droll. I like that. Good tea, nice house. Puts in $5. Can we dedicate tomorrow's Trekyards episode to Shempo's memory? Gone too soon. LOL, great episode. We might do that. Poor Shempo. Let's have a moment of silence for Shempo. Coffee, the ruiner of so many lives. Anyway, moving on. Hezraz. He didn't have access, but maybe the holodeck has the ability to access personal logs that it can only see to add depth. Just trying to find an explanation. Yeah, that's probably the best explanation, honestly, but Richie Appel, the Grumpy Vulcan came back in this week's episode as a holodeck character, only to be phasered. Poor Grumpy Vulcan. Jason we've seen that Boimler is adept at when he wants or needs to be. Don't think it's out of question that he'd get access to the stuff he shouldn't. Yeah, but he's also a rule follower to a T. He wouldn't access personal logs if he knew he wasn't supposed to. If they're personal and they can't be read or used, he shouldn't be using them. Official logs, yes. And he did say in one of the last episodes he reads everybody's logs. That to me implied the official logs, not the private logs or the personal logs. So I don't think he would break the rules that much, but Ryan K. If he was the best engineer in the fleet, he'd be on the Enterprise. Absolutely. Scott Withrow, $5. Is that an AMT exploration set on the shelf back there? It is 100% not, because the exploration set from AMT is shit. It's garbage. The proportions are all wrong. That is a One Company communicator, One Company phaser, and a Diamond Select tricorder, which soon, in a year, will be the One Company tricorder, because they're coming out with one. So it is not the exploration set, because that thing is just garbage and not accurate at all in the slightest. 149 people watching, 123 likes. Can we get 7 more likes to hit 130 likes, guys? Can we do it? I think we can. 7 of you out there, hit that like button if you haven't. Hezraz, I noticed my What the Fuck Vulcan 2. Sad he died, but at least he went out fighting. Cerstus, a few things I thought about is that the Federation and Starfleet is very lax on privacy, something that was said in Star Trek Picard. Again, I don't think you can take Star Trek Picard as anything at this point. Colin Barrett, Evening Captain, another great episode with loads of canon references. Absolutely. Let's see. Darren Young, the saucer crash was from Generations, but comical. The List of Jericho. Billups looked like a badass sitting alone in tent forward eating soup all by himself. Bondex 75. Samuel's trouble is he views it as a live action show, so by default always has a problem. But that's him. No, it's not his issue. He just finds little what he considers loopholes or plot holes, and just drills into them. Sometimes too far, but and yes, we both take it the same as we do a live action Trek because it's just as good. So I have a little more leniency for the goofiness of it, but overall, that's not the problem there. But Colin Barrett, I love the line in the briefing with the Admiral. If it was important, they should. If it was this important, they'd send the Enterprise. Fred Groger, I love the lens flare joke about the JJ Trek. Christopher Bloom, $5. Will Vindica's Gatling blaster become available on Star Trek Online? Probably, and so will Shrax's big railgun, his phaser railgun. Olivia Julius, $5. Why did the skeleton go to the barbecue to get another rib? Mr. Captain 93, would have been funnier if Troy was the counselor. The Ronin, $2. Tendi calling out Mariner was great and needed. Absolutely. I loved because everybody's been saying about the Ryans, how they're, it's the sex slaves or whatever, the pirates, and they're always get referred to as Orion pirates. So I love that that was addressed here. And most Orions haven't been pirates for more than 5 years now. So it's a very new thing, which I like. Ryan K., you're being a pineapple. Yeah, the counselor bugged me. The counselor did not fit in this episode. I know it's a cartoon, and I know that it didn't work. It felt like a Family Guy clip, unfortunately, that part. The List of Jericho, interesting idea that the transporter evacuator could just see it being a thing later on. Yeah, it should be. I mean, that would make sense. Emergency evacuation just beams all life forms to a safe area. The Ronin, computer, create hacker character who wants to leak all personal logs and has access to it. Okay, computer, now upload all personal logs. Irk the Bat, a super not good security protocol sounds exactly like the holodeck. Canadian Starships, regarding personal logs and creating the program, must be similar to how Geordi created Dr. Leah Brahms. Yeah, I would totally buy that. I think that's probably what they went for here. I'd buy that. Ryan K., I think privacy would still be important in the future. Matthew DeFreitas, second best episode of the series so far. Love the excessive JJ lens flares, the flight around the ship, and the ship crash, because every ship in every movie has to crash. Yeah, pretty much. Bondex 75, data protection laws will be a lot different in the future. Data protection laws will be a lot different in the future. If everyone is trustworthy, you might be just open about it. Hooker Unleashed Films, Badgie added the personal info to the holodeck, LOL. Hey, I'd buy that for $1. List of Jericho, if only Hoshi could have done that when she was trying to find Reed's favorite food. Yeah, absolutely. Grid Cube, Peanut Jumper had like half a second screen time and he's already my favorite character. Olivia Julius, $5. My guess, it's kind of like how LaForge made Leah Brahm in the holodeck. Leela LeBron. I don't know who Leela LeBron is. I think you mean Leah Brahms. Tommy Schnettler. Schnettler, yeah. I gotta go as I need sleep. All right, see you later, Tommy. He's probably already gone because I'm kind of behind the chat. The Dark Lord Revan, those holodecks are nothing but security risks since TNG. Dave Stelzer, pretty sure that the stand in Boimler, Shempo, is a reference to Shemp from the Evil Dead series and the Three Stooges. Yes, but it's also in this as the character Zahn, which it was supposed to be Boimler in that role, and then they swapped it out, so he was still in it as a different character, and then the other character got killed. I mean, yeah, I think it's good. Hezraz, Shempo should have taken the order right. Species 8470, Geordi made a simulation with that one engineer that helped him out that one time. Yes, he did. Ryan K., but that was used, what was public record. That did use public record. And it also, he said also access any personal logs, any whatever. I forget exactly what he said, but yes, he did. I think he did call in other things as well. So, but yeah, I would assume it's nothing that's too private. Jonathan Dola. The creation of the characters on the holodeck was like when Geordi replicated Dr. Brahms, much of her simulated by inference. Maybe the computer picked the patterns that came to the mom conclusion. Maybe. Grid Cube, I think this would be my favorite episode. Yep. Isha Simons, I think the saucer crash was from Star Trek Beyond. Yeah, well, definitely with the snow in the mountain, it definitely had that, as well as the Enterprise D crash. Ozzy Medeiros, who knew the Borg head had shields and was a bomb? BJ Vincent, hey Cap, I like that Mariner as the villain also quoted Shakespeare like Chang was fond of in the movie Undiscovered Country. Mr. Captain 93, will they ever revisit the blue light going into the captain? No, I don't think so. I think that was just, it went in and fizzled out because it ran out of power or energy. Good tea, nice house. About the privacy of the logs, things must be different in the future in that respect, as the Doctor and all series have discussed the illness of another crew member with other officers on the ship. Within reason, yes. There's even been the lines of like that'd be a huge breach of protocol to tell you that. So, springtime. Do you now want a new series of TOS 2070s Trek like Lower Decks? Like Lower Decks, no. I would like a more serious animated series, much like the original animated series, based on the TOS timeline. Rognick, oh, but the counselor was a great stealth pun. He was a duck alien, so clearly he was a quack. Oh, God. I never put that together, but you're right. Oh, that's good. Darren Wagner, great t-shirt. Began watching Lower Decks today, and it's mostly because of your McMahon videos. Good to hear, Darren. And thank you about the t-shirt. The Ronin, $2 next week. Exocomps. Colin Barrett, poor Boimler thrown off a cliff for trying to assassinate the captain with chocolate chips. Yeah, what's she allergic to? What's she allergic to? Wasn't upset that he died. That was great. Grid Cube. When Rutherford tried for the command branch, the first officer had a bridge with the crew of the Cerritos as well. I assume Boimler just used it as his base. Matthew DeFreitas, noticed that the preview for next week hardly showed anything. It was Boimler and Mariner, then the Exocomp, and that's it. Hiding stuff for an epic finish, you think. Absolutely. Because, yeah, there was very little in that preview for next week. So I'm expecting something great. 161 people watching it, which is fantastic, guys. 132 likes, which is also great. I think we can get to 150 likes. 18 people out there haven't hit like yet. Can you please hit like for me? I'd really appreciate it. Canadian Starships. The Bird Doctor sounded familiar. Do you know who played him? I didn't look it up. I don't know. Mr. Pete's channel needs 800 subbies, $2. Dr. Cat, bird shrink. The dentist will be a fish. YJ Wrangler, evening Cap, just got off work, cracked a beer, and hit the like button. So how did you like this episode? When Anti-Trekker was replying to me, mentioned he thought you'd love it. I thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic, and probably the best one so far. I keep saying that week on week, which is a good thing, but I keep saying that, but at the same time a bad thing. I just loved all the movie tropes, and the fact that this is basically the Lower Decks, the movie, which is great. So, Clean Gene, I hated the ending, though. Alistair Chud, the Exocomp had a Cerritos uniform painted on it. Olivia Julius, $2. How do you make an apple turnover? Push it downhill. Broken Speaker. Don't forget Geordi was very disappointed by the actual Leah Brahms as the computer made her nicer than she really was. Unrealistic expectation. But Geordi hit that in the end. Wow. We never got confirmation that the Leah he was married to in All Good Things was Leah Brahms. It could have just been another lady named Leah. But we need background info for Tendi, says Hezraz. I agree. Mr. Captain 93, I'm hoping that the EMH shows up. So much potential for more cameos. Hezraz, I personally find the Jordy and Leah Brahms thing creepy. It is on the line of stalkerish. Yeah, absolutely it was. Um, as for the EMH showing up, yes, please. I wish the EMH would have been in the first episode when they were dealing with all the zombies and sickbay was full. And she's like, first time she meets Tendi, she's like, hey, go over here and hold this heart. It would have been perfect time for the EMH to be online. Rognick, I think the doctor was Paul F. Tompkins. The Ronin confirms that the doctor was Paul F. Tompkins. I still don't know who that is. I'd have to look him up. Hezraz is, if someone made a hologram of me and started a relationship, I would be to them. What the hell is wrong with you? Yes, still flattering, I guess, but a little bit disturbing. Mr. Pete's channel, the EXO picked a gender? I suppose. Area 51, hey, I need 800 subs too. I should change my name here, lol. So Area 51 also needs 800 subs. So if you haven't subscribed to Mr. Pete's channel, he needs 800 subbies, go do so. Also, subscribe to Area 51's channel. And Darren Wagner's here as well. He does some really great videos. By all means, go subscribe to his channel. And yeah, help out some people that love Trekyards. Linner337, not on Da Vinci's watch. That was kind of just odd. Ozzy, what is the Exocomp's name though? I thought it was called Peanut Hamper. I think it was Peanut Hamper or Peanut Butter Hamper. Just Peanut Hamper. Peanut Hamper. I think. Yeah. Ryan K says this is his favorite so far. Peter Lukaku, I didn't enjoy the ship design around Space Dock. The square Bizarre collectors pissed me off. The Bizarre collectors aren't square? They are round at the front. Unless you mean at the back, where there's like it's more of a squared off bluey glow element at the back, but the fronts are definitely round. Unless you just mean the front of the nacelle in general, but Rognick, look out, Da Vinci's got a gun. Da Vinci's got a gun. That sounds like the name of a 1990s song. Janie's got a gun. Da Vinci's got a gun. Hey, there you go. There's another. Hey, Weird Al, if you're watching, Da Vinci's got a gun would be a good song. Broken speaker. Meh, 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 meh. EMH. Springtime. Lower Decks isn't the Trek we wanted, but in these dark times, it's the Star Trek that we needed. Dun dun dun. Well said. Broken speaker. Oh, wait. EMH, EMH, EMH. Freaking spell check. Mr. Pete's channel. The Cerritos is old. Maybe not have an EMH. May not have an EMH. Oh, they would have added it. It would have been an upgrade for sure. Considering that this is after Nemesis, those kind of things. Just put a hollow emitter in sickbay would be something that they would do to upgrade. So. Canadian Starships. Captain, where are you viewing the preview? For some reason, CTV Sci-Fi doesn't show them. It's a good question. I usually watch Lower Decks on, not on CTV Sci-Fi, but on Crave. Crave also doesn't have the previews, but needless to say, I see the previews even though I watch Lower Decks on Crave. That's all I'll say. Alyssa Jericho, a comedian who is doing that official Star Trek podcast. Oh, okay. Richie Appel, did anyone else notice the therapist stole his outfits from Carl Sagan's closet? Now that you've said that, yes. So yeah, the guy that played the therapist was the guy doing the official podcast. Okay, that makes sense. Hezraz, it would be awesome if Tendi's parents were Orion gangsters and she chose a different path. Absolutely, that's got to be what it is. I'm down with that, but we need to learn about Tendi's past for sure. Phantom Zero, wasn't the EMH a recent thing that they launched it with Voyager? I doubt the Cerritos has holographic emitters outside of the holodeck. Again, it doesn't take much to install a goddamn holographic emitter, and it would be one of those common upgrades that all Starfleet ships would get, especially considering that emergency medical hologram is a pretty important thing depending on the situation. So it's an upgrade that would definitely be added to sickbay. As for emitters all over the ship, not so much, but absolutely sickbay would have an EMH upgraded. Rognick, there be ways to watch these previews a bit suspiciously. Almost like you're an Orion. Fun will now commence. I would have preferred for Da Vinci program to be voiced by John Rhys Davies. Yeah, absolutely. Somebody asked us that on our live yesterday. Did we think that Da Vinci would be voiced by him? I thought yes, they might go that route, but no, I don't think that they did. So I was a little bit surprised they didn't. But for just the few lines he had, it was fine. Paul Graham, I love this episode. Good to hear, Paul. Hope you are well. Grid Cube, Paul F. Tompkins was the counselor's voice. The Ronin, Hollow Shack sees you in hell line was awesome. Olivia Julius, $2. 150 likes can make Olivia pay. 152 people watching and 149 likes on my end. So if you guys haven't hit like yet, just hit the like button, guys. I'd really appreciate it. Let's see if we can get up to, as high as we can get. Just everyone watching right now, just take a second and hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Ozzy, did we finally see the shuttle bay doors? You saw the shuttle bay on the engineering hull. If you look closely, that's at the back of the engineering hull. When we talked to Mike McMahon, he said there is a shuttle bay at the back of the engineering hull, and that's clearly the one that they docked in this one. But yeah, we didn't see the ones in the saucer yet. Not from the outside, anyway. Tim McCaffrey, where did the shuttle enter through? As I said, the engineering deck. Dave Stelzer, the Pa Wraith shoutout was hilarious. Elner337, did anyone notice that the captain first walks onto the bridge? They're using the JJ Bridge ambient sound. Yes, and also the lens flares everywhere. And I love the glistening clean seat. Just, it was great. Hezraz, tell the Pa Wraith Shax sent you. Irk the Bat, Dr. Perlasky would never turn on the EMH. She'd never turn anybody on. Unless you're a pussy. Peter Lakako, the ships floating around Space Dock. I mean, the red on the Bizarres were square instead of oval around. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I don't have much of a problem with that. It's more like a new design style. So I'm kind of cool with that. But yeah. Okay, thank you for clarifying. Broken speaker. Totally Carl Sagan vibe from the counselor. Yeah, now that you've said that, yeah, you're 100% right. Ron Sarna, Paul Thompson was the bird therapist, yes. The Ronin, Paul F. Thompson is actually a pretty prolific comedy actor and voice actor. He is just also doing the official podcast. Well, there you go. Let's see. Colin Barrett. What if the EMH Mark VI is modeled after Dr. Dr. Perlasky? Pulaski. Now I keep calling Perlasky because of the Perlasky jokes. Oi, Mr. Pete's channel. Tendi may be a pirate princess. Well, she looked great in this episode, so man. Michael Anderson. In 2371, prior to the launch of Voyager, the Admiral said that they were considering installing the system across the fleet. Boom! 9 years ago, boys. The system is installed on all ships by now. Thank you, Michael Anderson. Ron Sarna. I am hoping for Cake Boss in the final episode. What? Where did that come from? Listen, Jericho, the previews are on YouTube. They are indeed, my friend. The Ronin, man, many Orions haven't been pirates for almost 5 years now. Rosetta Allen, $5. Hugs, Foley. You do great work. Just be amazing, Captain. My captain never changed, crazy man. I will not. Rosetta, hope you're feeling well. Sorry I haven't got a chance to respond to your message, but I hope you're doing well and take care of yourself and each other. I'm Jerry Springer. Broken speaker. Oh no, I just had a bad thought. John Rhys Davies is getting up there in age. Have not heard from him in a while. Hope he is well. He is well because he was on Josh Gates did a Expedition Unknown for Shark Week. He did one every day, and he talked to John Rhys Davies as a part of that. And yeah, John Rhys Davies is doing fine, so don't worry, he's fine. Awang Elias, the glory shot of Cerritos was excessively new Trek movie. It was amazing. Defiant, Mr. Raven Productions. No squadrons for me tonight. Gotta sleep. Tomorrow, though. I gotta pick mine up tomorrow. Tomorrow morning we have to do some filming. Then I gotta go to the EB Games in the mall, pick up my copy. Then I gotta bring it home, install it, download whatever updates it has to do, whatever. It'll probably take a few hours. Then I'll probably be playing it tomorrow night. I don't know yet. But squadrons will be a thing that'll be happening on this channel. Ron Sarna, it was holodeck though. What was holodeck? What? Springtime. Hypothetical. What if Lower Decks ends up be a long runner with 7 seasons, but STD and Picard and Strange New Worlds only get 3 or 4 seasons? Well, that'll be interesting. Who knows? Jeff Jacobs, $2. Here is mine for $1.50. Good job, chatters. Hashtag made Jeff pay. Olivia Julius, $2. The Borg head was a little stupid and unrealistic. Again, it's a cartoon, so it was kind of a funny little trope. It's fine. And it's something you'd see in a movie, too. We're going to reconfigure this Borg head to emit a shield, and then we're going to use it to blow up the... I can see them doing that in a movie. That's the whole thing. This thing went beyond what Star Trek would normally do to make the movie tropes, because the things that happen in Star Trek movies would not necessarily happen in a Star Trek show. So I thought that was great. Colin Barrett, I like the way they made fun of the movie's flybys with their excessively long shuttle pass of the Cerritos. Rognek, the way she was carrying around the Borg head, I very much got a Perseus and Medusa's head vibe. Oh, absolutely. I thought the same thing, actually. Alyssa Jericho, Mariners, a Clash of the Titans fan, that explains the head. Mr. Pete's channel, if you shave your beard and remove your glasses, you look just like Chief Engineer Billups. Ron Sarna, it was all holodeck and a movie. Springtime, the Cat Doctor and Shreks are probably lovers. They did kiss in one episode. They did indeed. Oh, he grabbed her, he was excited, and she didn't rebuff him, so who knows. YJ Wrangler, the Canon Shreks head was pretty sweet. I call it a phaser railgun. BJ Vincent, $5. Shaxx firing the phaser cannon that blasts a beam as wide as a door was awesome. And if you watched our preview, our predictions video yesterday, you can actually read the dialogue, like the script that Mariner is typing into the screen. And we read that part. That Shaxx had a huge gun, and then brackets movie quality budget or whatever. So that was kind of neat, actually. Grid Cube. Probably before the Dominion War, they were going to install the EMH, and then the Fire Nation Paw Wraiths attacked. Mr. Pete's channel. Zoophiles are criminals. What? Springtime. I mean, Shaxx and the Cat Doctor are lovers. Okay. Ozzy, Les Deanna wasn't at the helm of the ship this time. Oh, at least, yes. Mr. Pete's channel. I heard they already animated 26 episodes. True? Well, they were working on season 2. Oh, when we talked to Mike McMahon, they were finalizing some stuff. So I would maybe think yes. Don't know. Captain Trek, Foley, please pick on Rosetta Allen. I will not pick on her this evening. Grid Cube. Lower Decks has the potential to be the longest running Star Trek show ever. It's relatively cheap, can be deep, funny, etc. I hope we get as many seasons as The Simpsons. Well, that might be a little much. I'm very much sick of The Simpsons at this point. But sure, I want a lot of good seasons out of Lower Decks because it's really proven itself as a show. Alistair Chud, Shax and the Doctor spend tender moments being angry at things together. Yeah, they definitely have things in common in that regard. So, Forrest Penrod, some real beauty shots of the Cerritos this time around. Yeah. Rosetta Allen, shut up, Captain Trek. Hooker Unleashed Films. I like how Boimler kept getting hit with the credits, lol. Yeah, that was pretty great. Mr. Pete's channel, you gave me the finger. What an honor! It should be. I hope you weren't offended by that. I was just joking around. But yeah, I don't want to look like him. And it's a funny thing because I thought that when I was watching this episode with Sylvia. I'm like, he's blonde and he's got a mustache. But he just looks like a middle-aged dude. Like, I don't want to be that guy. Looks like almost looks like a 70s porn star, actually. So, not really what I want. And it should be an honor, Mr. Pete. So, Hezraz. I think it would be cool if they did 2 seasons a year, like how some shows used to do back in the day, and how things are going. Season 2 will probably come out before season 2 of Picard. I could definitely see that. That's one thing that I think we're going to get next year for sure. Season 2 of Lower Decks. Season 2 of Picard, maybe late next year, but I really doubt that. Like I said, next year might be a little bit of a wasteland. Unless you go into the movie side of things, because all the movies that were supposed to come out this year are being pushed off to next year. So it's going to be a mixed bag of stuff, I think, next year, what they can get finished and whatever. So it'll be interesting to see. Tim McCaffrey, percentage change. The finale ends with someone saying, fire, then dramatic music. Mr. Worf, fire. Or actually, Mr. Shax, fire. Dun, 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 dun. Isja Simmons. Anyone think the Cerritos is closer to the size of the Saber class than, say, a Miranda? Yeah, it's bigger than a Miranda, but not much. So, Ron Sarna, turning this philosophical rather than Cerritos getting refit, it seems that Lower Decks did. Linner337, I'm pretty sure Lower Decks Season 2 on IMDb is confirmed for 12 episodes. Yes, I think so. Hezraz, their anger is their connection. Yeah, they're both mad at everything, so. Cinnabon Bunny, did someone say, at Rosetta Allen, I could use a sandwich? Come on, guys, be nice. Ozzy, Badgie is in my new keyboard on my iPad. Well, that's not good, or is it good? Is it just an emoji you have, or is he actually like causing havoc and causing it not to work properly, or trying to kill you every time you type? But let us know. Mr. Pete's channel, The Simpsons may become an eternal show. Rosetta Allen, Cinnabon Bunny, the sandwich wench has quit. Cinnabon Bunny, that's not allowed. Come on, guys, be nice. Rosetta might be, not feeling the best tonight, so don't bug her, please. Or you'll have Captain Foley to deal with, and you don't want to deal with Captain Foley, because, he looks out for his friends, and I consider Rosetta a friend, so don't fuck with her if she's not in the mood for it. Mr. Horndog, sorry, but I can't find a ship you reviewed. I looked in the different sections you list on a website. Ship has short neck to body and comes out of the underside of the saucer. Any ID? Sorry, I can't find a ship you reviewed. This on website has short neck to body and comes out from under the saucer. Any ID? Any idea? I don't know. I've reviewed a lot of shit. Was it an Eagle Moss ship? Or was it just one of our regular episodes? Or was it a mission briefing? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Which era was it? We might be able to figure it out if you give us some clues. Hezraz, ramming speed. Ramming speed. Grid Cube in the finale. The TOS Enterprise shows up. That'd be dope as long as they're done properly. Yes. Libby Julia's $5. Dad jokes brought to you in part by Captain Foley's Trekyards Dad's Joke Book. Pick yours up today, and then immediately put it down, because the only person doing dad jokes on this channel will be Captain Foley. Ozzy, I'm playing with you toy. I'm playing with you toy. That sounds dirty. And what I don't know what you mean specifically. Springtime. How about a Lower Decks episode that takes place on the TOS Enterprise with TOS characters as a special TV movie? I'm sure they're going to do a TOS episode at some point where it's time travel or a holodeck program or something. I'm sure they're going to do that. Probably for season 2, but who knows? But I'm sure they'll do it. I'm sure they'll do it. Rosetta Allen, Foley hugs. Hugs right back at you. The old ass retro gamer, Captain, my captain. Hey, how's it going, Chris? Good to see you. Speaking of, you and I have to do a live some night talking about our 3D Blu-ray collections, because I got a couple good stacks of 3D movies. We could talk about them, so that's something we should probably do sometime. Area 51, can I teach you a lesson? Badgie. Ozzy, I'm with my new toy iPad. Oh, okay. Captain Trek, I will be nice to Rosetta Allen, but the sandwich wench has not quit, and I'm talking to my friend Rosetta Allen now. Good. Darren Young, a centaur class? Possibly. BJ Turon, most Orville-like episode yet for Lower Decks. Also reminded me of Black Mirror's USS Callister episode. Yeah, that Black Mirror episode is great. It did have that kind of feel to it now that you mentioned it. Most Orville-like? Yep. Like, I would agree with that, too. Ron Sarna, Voyager has a short neck. It does indeed. Captain Trek, Cinnabon Bunny, hi, and have a good night. Rosetta Allen, at Captain Trek, I know you don't want me to leave. No one wants you to leave. Mr. Horndog, I keep saying Mr. Horndog, and it's my dyslexia. Mr. Hornung. Mr. Hornung. Boy, Lower Decks is really a good cartoon. Scott Withrow, can you light up your 1350 for a while? I can. It'll be kind of loud, though. All right. The motors are a little loud, so if you can't hear me over the motors or if it's getting annoying, let me know. But there you go. It's lit up. Awang Elias, Mirror Universe Mariner would be scary. Yeah, this one had a very much a Mirror Universe vibe to most of the characters, which I appreciated. Because will they do Mirror Universe? If they do a few seasons, absolutely they will at some point. But see, I feel like I have to talk louder to compensate for the motors. But if they're not that annoying, I'll keep going with it on if you really want to see it lit up. Clean Gene, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy needs a comedy series. It's the franchise best fit for one. I would agree. The Old Ass Retro Gamer, yes, we do all the 3D blues. All of them. Bum, 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 bum. I'm 3D now. I'm burrowing into your soul. Or the old SCTV skits for 3D. There you go. All right. The List of Jericho. My idea is that they go back to the TOS era and the animation reverts to the animated series, original animated series style. That'd be very, very cool. I would be 1000% down for that. Ron Sarna, talk to BBC Worldwide. They have enough trouble animating Doctor Who. Ryan K, that Black Mirror episode is dark. It is. Ron Sarna, I just like hearing Captain say, horn dog. Hey, horn dog. Hezraz. Yep, it is dark, but good. It would suck to realize you are not real, but we're part of a simulation for someone's pleasure. Mr. Hornug, not Eagle Moss, Trekyards, I believe it was a fan-made one. Well, if it's a fan-made one, and we did it on Trekyards, type in Trekyards Originals. If you just type in Trekyards Originals, you should come up with a list of them, or a playlist for the originals. Assuming we've been putting them in playlists. We try to put them in playlists, but sometimes we forget. So that's a good question. I don't know, just look up Trekyards Originals, and hopefully it'll be on a list somewhere. Ozzy says, here you're just fine. Good. Springtime for the Lower Decks movie, The Wrath of Badgie. Hezraz, I wonder what happened to those characters. It is left open to interpretation. Alyssa Jericho, Hitchhikers was a TV series. BJ Vincent, I liked when Mariner compares Boimler's role in her movie to Zahn, a character from the cancelled project Star Trek Phase 2, noting that his role likely wouldn't make the final cut. And yeah, he had no idea who it was. I explained that right at the beginning because that's one thing that I caught right away. So, yeah, absolutely. And then the fact that, well, they used Shampy, or Shempy, whatever the hell his name was. He got killed. I love that as well. Like, yeah, it was great. It was well done. Mark Lawrence, $5. Just got to chime in and say I like the ship porn. We got more than we got in over a decade in one shot. One shot. The money shot. But yes, you're absolutely right, Mark. Olivia Julius, too close. Oh goodness, that was too close. Daryl Gross, Gundam. Scott Withrow, looks great. Wish I had the room for one. Area 51. Is it annoying you though, Captain? It's not. It's actually quite soothing. It's actually, I kind of forgot it was on, to be honest. I don't know how loud it is for you guys. It's too loud to have on all the time here. I wish I would have got the LEDs. You can get LED ones that look like they're rotating the same way, and they're whisper quiet. Like, there's no sound at all. Just those ones that came with the Polar Lights accessories kit are a little loud. So, YJ Wrangler, Lower Decks looks refit instead of the Cerritos because Mariner put the holodeck movie in the letterbox format. Joseph Meditz, Mr. Foley's horror House of Pancakes in 3D. Ah, you got the SCTV reference. Hezraz, I love though that Boimler was important enough for her to use as a stand-in when he decided to do his own thing. Shempo, LOL. Ryan K, agree, it's good, but as I said, dark. That guy was definitely nuts. Ron Sarna made the 3D sound effect. Ooh. Ooh. Daryl Gross. Gundam vs. STLD Season 1, Episode 9. Grid Q, is there a Black Mirror episode that isn't dark? The whole show is the antithesis of Star Trek. Yeah, I think they're all designed to be dark. Mr. Horndog, Trekyards. Mr. Hornug, goddamn. Don't worry about the name. I was once paged at Walmart as Mr. Horny. Paging Mr. Horny. Please come to the front customer service area. Mr. Horny. Ozzy, can we see Badgie in the Mirror Universe? He'll be the most helpful program ever. YJ Wrangler. Yes, SCTV. Alistair Chud. Walmart paged me as Mr. Horny for completely different reasons. Would Mr. Horny please get out of aisle 3? Clean up in aisle 3. Clean up in aisle 3. Clean Gene. The Hitchhiker's Guide series should be animated. All the craziness that happens after the immobility drive fires would be great in animated form. Yeah, Mr. Pete's channel. Mirror Badgie is polite. Ozzy, Badgie could be the leader. Badgie could be the leader in the universe. Ryan K. Also, I've thought something like that on occasion ever since I saw The Matrix. Daryl Gross, Badgie 3D printed. Well, Anti-Trekkers printed one. He's actually designing a 3D or a Badgie version of the Trekyards con badge. He's going to 3D print and send to me as well. So I want a little Badgie. I do. Just sit in the background or whatever. Hezraz, Google Black Mirror episodes from medieval times. It is great. Fun will now commence. $2. John Rhys Davies was great as Da Vinci on Voyager. He was. Godspeed, you crazy fucks. Says, oh my god, I love Orange Crush. Yummy yum. Yes. Ron Sarna. Zaphoid has never been properly represented. I don't even know what word that is, but okay. Mr. Pete's channel. That model sounds like a Cardi torture device. J.L. Young, Arthur, in space, no one can hear you were. Libby Julius, PayPal support via trekyards@hotmail.com. If you do want to send PayPal, you can. Or keep the super chats coming. There's been some great ones. On Sarna, the captor's running a saw device. Ignore that sound. Adam Vera, $5. Just stopped in to say, love you guys. Later. Hey, Adam. Good to see you. Oh, that's Retro Gamer. Is there a vibrator on the loose somewhere? Now I've got to shut it off. Good job. Good job. Yeah, asshole. Eek the Bat. My last name is Lawthorne, and I've been paged as Mr. Horny as well. Ron Sarna, I hope Mr. Horny wore a mask at least. Daryl Gross, please make STL. I will print. I have easy seed one time and what? I'm so confused by that. Oh, please make an STL file. I will print. I have seed times one. I don't know how to make it. I don't have the program, so I need somebody else to do it. But Scythe Commander, Badgie could be a physical being in the Mirror Universe, just like the Mirror Vic Fontaine. Yeah, it was kind of stupid, though. Colin Barrett, I was in a large department store once where the girl on reception fell on the phone calling for Mike Hunt. Gag, LOL. Paging Mike Hunt. Paging Mike Hunt. At least she didn't. When the girl on the reception fell for, I was like, what, fell on the phone while she was having sex with the manager? That'd be great, too. Maybe they can call her Lassie. Does anybody get the Lassie reference? I know it wasn't over a pager. It was just because it was in the back of the gymnasium, but still. Jeremy Allen, if they go woke, I am out. BJ Turan, the Black Mirror USS Callister ended up on an upbeat note with the bad guy defeated and the new frontier to explore for the crew. A pretty Star Trekky ending. Eric the Bat, Mirror Badgie is an Earth with dagger through it. That's actually great. I love that. Eric the Bat, he means Zaphoid Beat Brock. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's a character from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Okay, cool. I don't know how to pronounce that, though, so. And the old ass retro gamer, you're welcome. LOL. I know where you live, Chris. Not that I can get there, because the border is closed still, but hey. Ron Sarna, hey, spelling is tough enough. Okay. Ron Sarna, it is a 3D format. Sorry, and STL. Hooker Unleashed Films, Porky's reference. Kim Cattrall, Valeris. It's a Star Trek tie-in. Mr. Pete's channel, Mike Hunt. Is he related to Bendover? Yes, he is. Alyssa Jericho, Mike Hunt. I don't think Bart Simpson has done that one yet. Colin Barrett could be Admiral Badgie in the Mirror Universe. Um, Awaying alias Emperor Badgie. Godspeed, you crazy fucks. Please turn it off now. Ouch. And Aussie Porkies with Kim Cattrall. There you go. You guys are all on the ball tonight. So there you go, guys. We've been going for just over an hour, almost an hour and a half, so that's pretty good. And in short, I really love this episode. The movie tropes was great. Just seeing Mariner versus Mariner was awesome. There was so much good in this episode that I don't know how anybody can tear it apart saying it was bad. Unfortunately, there will be people and a certain segment of the YouTube community that will do so, and that just sucks because this is a great show and this was a great episode of this show. So I'm looking forward to more, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow as well. We're going to be filming our episode review and a few smaller videos in the morning. So check out the edited review in the afternoon, and then at 5 Eastern Standard Time, check out the live full review that both Samuel and myself will be doing. It'll be about 2 hours, maybe a little bit more with this one because really there's a lot to talk about, and I feel we're going to kind of get bogged down. Samuel might get stuck on a few topics, which is fine. I'll try to, but anyway, it'll be definitely worth a few discussions, and hopefully you guys will join us for that. Please check out the live at 5, as I said, and so overall, I think this is probably the best episode so far, and I keep saying that week after week, which is a great thing to have to say because I haven't been able to say that with Discovery or Picard. So it just keeps getting better and better, which I love, and it's something that's has really rejuvenated my love of Star Trek, and it's good because it's right before Discovery Season 3, which could be its own thing, could be really good, and I'm looking forward to it, but, with the track record, who knows? So anyway, that's where we stand, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. Thank you for joining me tonight. If you have any last comments or super chats you want to throw in, like the last super chat slot, if anybody wants it for $1 or whatever, feel free to do that right now. But Old Dash Richard Gamer saying later, Caps. Later, Chris. Shoot me a message, or I'll shoot you a message sometime soon, because I would like to set up a live kind of this time of night talking about 3D Blu-rays and stuff, because 3D, man, for the win. Woo, woo. Anyway, so thank you for joining me, guys, and have a good one. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and yeah, keep trekking on, Lower Decks. You guys are awesome.